So good afternoon, Holly and Meredith.
I'm
Meredith and Holly, thanks. It's the end of a long day. We are really happy to have you volunteer to read with our 4th and 5th graders. Everyone's referred to this as corporate readers, and we need to have a better name for it. If you can think of something that will be more kid-friendly, maybe. As I look at the outline of the program, you're going to come to Monroe 6 times for roughly 30 minutes in one of our 4th or 5th grade classrooms. We have 4 4th grade sections and 3 5th grade sections. Each group has about 22 to 25 children in this section. The classroom teacher will be with you, so you'll actually have a second, or in your case, a third set of hands to help you with the program. The principal couldn't be here today, TJ, but he describes our volunteers as the fun uncle and aunt that get to come in and spread the good word about books and reading. Our students at Monroe primarily come from high poverty households. They've come to school with very limited background knowledge about most things. They probably don't see much reading material at home, so they're not necessarily seeing their family very excited about books. They don't really see what reading can do for them, for their family, how it can improve their lifestyle, how a mom or dad would use reading in their real life. We just know that about children who come from schools, from homes that are high poverty homes. So our main goal for this program is to help the children understand that reading is a very important life skill, that you are excited about reading, and you want them to be excited about reading. I don't think you would have signed up for this had you not been readers yourselves. So we would love for you, when you first meet the children, and every time you're in there, spend some time talking about the skill of reading. How you use reading on your job, how you're reading a great book at home, how reading figures into your personal life. Kids love to hear about your stories from childhood. So if I were in a classroom, I would probably tell the kids I loved to read from the time I could remember, from my earliest years. I had 3 brothers and sisters that would laugh at me because I always had a book everywhere we went. My vacation time was always spent reading while they were out playing. They love stories like that about your childhood reading experiences. Maybe you weren't a real great reader when you were a child. A lot of adults, my husband included, struggled terribly as a reader, but he depends on reading in his everyday life and on his job. Share those stories with the boys and girls. If something helped you overcome challenges with books, share that with them. Oh, I had that I couldn't sound words out for anything when I was a child. As personal as you can make it, connect with our children as much as you can. Ask the children to share their experiences, not so much what they're reading, but what they think about reading. Some children will say, I don't like to read, and those are probably kids that are experiencing some difficulties with phonics or comprehension. There's so many, your brain has to really multitask when you read, and our kids generally struggle with that. We have some classrooms with some excellent readers, and you will meet those children also. Do you have any questions about that piece of what we'd like for you to do in the classroom, the motivation? If you're in the room for 30 minutes, I'm going to guess that part of your volunteering time would be maybe, well, it's as long as you need it to be. I would say 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Get to know the kids, connect with them. We'll have name tags for you. Some children will really stand out with huge personalities. Some will be very quiet. Just in your own special ways, connect with the children about books. You will have a different title every month that you come, and the children will actually have a full month to read the book. I don't think it will take them a full month to read it. The first book is part of a series. It's historical fiction. If you have kids, you said, Holly, you have a fifth grader. This is the newest volume in the I Survive series, and this is a book about the destruction of Pompeii. We've tried to choose titles that have broad appeal, that both boys and girls will like, and a variety of different levels of reading ability. Some children will struggle more with these, and some will say they're too easy. You just get that when you get a classroom of kids. But they're really high interest books. So when you come next week, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to introduce the book and build some background knowledge in some way. Like I said, our children, most fourth and fifth graders don't know a thing about Pompeii or ancient Rome.
Will they have started the book at all?
They will not have started the book. You will be passing them out.
Okay.
We've ordered the copies. You'll take a copy today. We ordered these from Scholastic, and we're waiting on the box, but it will be here. So I like to draw their attention to the cover, the pictures on the cover, the title. A lot of the children have read in this series, so you can ask them, what they already know about how this series works. There are many, many true facts and events from Pompeii woven into kind of a fictionalized account of the eruption of the volcano. The main characters are Marcus and Tata, his father. The book starts in a really exciting way, and I would encourage you to read the book, read it with your child maybe before next week, and think about how you can introduce Pompeii to the kids before they start to read. You could bring a picture. We are certainly set up if you found short video clips. We can't use YouTube here, but if you can put it on a drive and get it ahead of time or bring it, we'd be able to work that out. If you can, maybe if you've had an experience about Pompeii or something you personally know about it. I remember going to Chicago to the museum. They had an exhibit of Pompeii. It was really fascinating, just fascinating. There were, I don't know if you want to tell kids this, there were kind of concrete plaster casts of people captured in everyday movements and life circumstances. It was quite a sudden eruption. The book starts with some tremors, so it doesn't erupt until halfway through the book. So I'm probably spoiling it, but there are many ways to work through the book. The children will be reading independently once you leave, but they love to be read too. If you are a person that's comfortable reading to children, I would encourage you to these are very short chapters, maybe read a chapter out loud, read the first chapter out loud. They're very short. Maybe tell the children you're going to read a page and then they're going to read a page chorally. There are a lot of ways that you can do that. I would say that you could read silently together and ask kids to close the book after you've read the first chapter, or 5 pages, set a goal. on this sheet that I gave you, if you were going to do that and have everybody kind of read in the room, I've just got some sample questions that check their understanding of what they've read. Our children, some of them are great readers, but it doesn't stick. They don't understand very well what they've read. And so if you ask them about the characters, what kind of book it is, what do you think will happen next? What's happened so far? Why did the author use these particular words to describe Marcus? What kind of a kid is Marcus? Take that as far as you're comfortable. I mean, some people have a lot of teacher in them, and some people just aren't comfortable asking a lot of questions of children. You might want, if you're going to ask questions, write them out ahead of time, if you'd like, and you'll be sure to touch base with those
just
particular
clarify?
questions. Sure.
So each one of these sessions would be a different book.
Each session
So
is
this
a
is
different
my
book.
one opportunity to talk about this
This
book.
is it for Pompeii.
And they won't have started it.
They will not have started it.
Okay, so
The stapled list, I don't know, there are more than 6 books on this list, but we will do our very best to get you those final titles ahead of time. These are high interest, kind of lower reading level books that we think our children would be interested in.
And I think in the packet that I've got here, I also included what Judy had sent me for titles.
Yep, those are them.
Okay.
We're looking for some funding. We're
This-
working with United Way to see about that.
This one, right?
Yes, you've got, so you have a little more information about those books.
but this is something that would be delivered to us prior to
Yes.
December 4th probably? Or
Yes.
we would pick up?
Or maybe on your last, yes, we will make sure that you get the books before your return.
I'll work with the school to make sure that we get those over to you.
Okay.
So one other question, there's a lot of books here, and I thought this was
It's
6
6.
sessions, so
And-
how's that gonna?
We will narrow this down to 5 more from this list. This was a list that we put together of some possibilities. We'll probably go with those that we can get the least expensively. I don't know, probably.
And will every session that we participate in, that'd be the first introduction to that
Yes,
book?
yes.
So it won't be like we're walking in the
You
middle of
won't
the...
ever,
Okay.
they won't have seen this book. It's like
Okay.
Christmas. They're getting a book that they get to keep.
One of the things that was suggested by TJ was the idea of emailing the teacher in the room. Go ahead.
We're going to make sure you have contact with the classroom by email, and you can check in with the children if you would like to keep that connection alive. And I think it sounds like a great idea. Ask the kids questions about the book, ask them if they finished, what did you like best. I can even see a Skype session if you'd like to really try that out. I don't think we've ever done that, but maybe as the program goes along, that might be really fun to try. I thought about having like a response sheet for the children, and I even made one up, and then I decided that's just too school-like. We want this to be for pure enjoyment. So any academics or reading development that you can do through questioning will be appreciated. We don't want the children to feel like this is one more book report they have to do. So I think what I'll do is for each classroom, have children sign a log as they finish the book. And we'll get these logs to you somehow. And again, I would encourage you to stay in touch with the classroom. A blog would be fun too. I don't know if we could get something like that going. That would be really fun to try for some of our kids that love the internet. We have Chromebooks for all of our 4th and 5th graders, and so they can log in, and they would be able to log into a blog and tell you maybe an answer to a question. Which part of the book did you like best? Was there a part you just didn't like? If you were in Pompeii, what would you have done? You know, anything you can do to really get them excited about the book. Retelling a story is an important skill that our children really struggle with, summarizing and retelling. So if you're having the kids reading, maybe you could say, let's read for 5 minutes and put our books down. And maybe have them turn to one another, to a partner, and tell the partner about what you just read, the main details, the important details, the characters, the events. Don't be afraid to have kids turn to one another and talk it out. We do that a lot in the classroom when we're teaching, and it just doubles the amount of engagement you're going to get from the kids. So be sure, treat it like a little book club in any way you want and have them talk it out. I've talked a lot. Do you have any questions about the program? First time ever seeing the book. It's a gift. It's precious. Enjoy it. Encourage the children to talk to one another. I think it's going to be great to see all of our 4th and 5th graders walking around school with the same book. It's like one giant book club. I'm really looking forward.
This is new then?
We have never done anything like this to my knowledge. And I don't know if other schools in our district, I really have not heard of this kind of a program. So we may open up lots of possibilities with this. I do agree that 30 days is kind of long in between. So anything you can come up with to bridge that time gap would be really appreciated. Our staff here, they are happy to work with you. They're really wonderful teachers. We have some brand new teachers in 4th and 5th grade. We have some veterans and just tons of really nice boys and girls. We haven't told them about the program yet, but we're just about to unwrap it with them. So I want to give you your first copy.
Oh, exciting.
And Marcy, I'll give you these to give to your volunteers.
Do you want me to take one I'll take one for Brett.
Please do.
And if you don't have enough volunteers for the number of classrooms, Brett and I can split up.
Oh, okay. Well, we have
So-
7, and I think Marcy said we have 10 people.
I believe the last time I had talked, there were 10 people that registered.
Okay, so just let me know. He said we could be partners, but if I need to come 6 times, I can handle that. So
We
just
will
let me know.
never leave you stranded. If there are behavior issues, we will handle that. We won't expect you to deal with naughty kids, and there are some in every class. Generally, our students are very well behaved when we expect it of them, and for visitors, I really don't expect problems. But I just want you to know, kids.
How would you like them to refer to us? Like Mrs.,
I
Miss,
would use
first name?
You decide whatever you're
Doesn't
comfortable with.
matter. Okay.
Most adults, most teachers, we call Mr. and Mrs. But this is an entirely different kind of a buddy program. If you would rather have them call you by your first name, that would be fine with us. Really. When you introduce yourself, you might want to say, and you can call me Grandma. I've been called worse. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, our pleasure.
Couple of questions for you. When the volunteers arrive at the school, just kind of walk me through what I should expect, what I need to do when I get here.
Okay. The front office will know you're coming. We will give you a visitor's badge. You'll sign in on a visitor's log, and I will have some children be greeters, and they will come and wait for you in the office and walk you up. 1 o'clock, right?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. And do we know what day next week it is?
Yes, it's the 30th.
The 30th. Okay. So when you come, you might want to come a little ahead. I will have a 4th or 5th grade child for each homeroom down here. They're all, if you have a preference for 4th or 5th, let us know. They're all.
I prefer fifth, just because
okay.
I have a fifth grader, so I could, make that connection.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. In fact, you might want to show this list to your 5th grader and
Well,
see if,
yeah, like I know he's read several of those books.
Yeah.
There's a Titanic one. There's a.
There are, I forget what number this is in the series, but we will try to match if there are preferences between, 4th and 5th graders. Maybe someone else has a 4th grader. We'll match them up. We'll get you to the classroom. The child will walk you back down, say goodbye politely, and you'll be on your way.
Okay.
Can
we park out front?
You can park out front. It's during the day usually a pretty good bet that there'll be a place out there. There's a city bus stop further up, I think, so try to avoid that. But you'll be well gone before our school buses are there, so that'll work great.
Okay.
Just a random question. Being the day before Halloween, do you guys have rules or preferences about it, like bring a treat or something, or Halloween?
No, that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, make it fun. Anything you can do to spark interest. We don't really go all out and celebrate Halloween,
right.
but they're thinking about it. It's not far from their mind.
Okay. Any other logistical questions? You feel like you're comfortable, when you get here what to do. Does everybody need to bring a valid driver's license in order to sign in, or do you?
No.
Okay.
No, we'll know.
Okay.
We'll know. Judy probably has a list of people.
I will get a list of people.
Why don't you email that?
Yep, I will email that over to Judy
to
so we
TJ
know.
or Judy.
Will do.
So if you didn't know anything about the program, what we talked about today, you're pretty, you're okay with it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, it's much more, I have a lot more to contribute than I thought I would.
Good.
I thought I was just reading, so this will be fun.
It's a give and take. You can read if you'd like, but I would certainly expect the children to read while you're in the room in some way. You can't get better unless you read.
Absolutely.
And some of our children really resist practicing. This book, though, I think will excite the kids. It's a pretty cool book.
It's like anything, you don't get better at anything unless you practice.
It's true, and that's so true. We try graphic novels and this kind of series seem to be books that some of our more reluctant readers pick up. But anything,
Well, boys in particular in graphic
boys.
novels are great.
Boys are a little tricky. They're a funny animal. I raised one. I think I'm still working at it. He's 33, but I don't think the job ever stops.
No, I saw there was quite a few people on that email. I'm not sure how many, maybe 10, but you'll manage to get books to them? I just don't know if we should take responsibility for those other